around the world to obtain vaccines, which is why part of the investments we're making today is to establish the capacity of developing vaccines.
We have each other's back in time of crisis, Canadian brethren.
Here in Canada.
Because we don't match. You get it?
Yes, vaccines will be a strong pillar of our exit strategy for COVID-19, and is doing research on vaccines and have Canadian contributing brilliantly to this research. At the same time, we must make sure that we're able to manufacture them here in Canada, and this is what we'll be doing. Quebec, people are talking about the possible reopening of some regions, and Saskatchewan will be unveiling its plan for the reopening of the economy. So does Prince Edward Island. Do you think it's too soon? And do you think that the provinces are taking these measures prematurely? Well, I have to look at the situation. Until we have the vaccine, we will not be able to
hear the Prime Minister's mic feed at all.
That we have come back
I can hear it in the background.
However, we'll be able to soften some of the measures and lift some of them while keeping our screening strategies, and some provinces will be making the appropriate measures in this respect regarding the lifting of some measures, and we as the federal government, we would be working at having a consistent and common approach to the relaxation of such measures. And of course, this may take place at different times from one province to another.
You've been listening to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau providing an update on federal efforts to fight COVID-19. Prime Minister first taking a moment to wish Muslims.
How do I say that in French? Because they translated it for me.
In a spoke about the anniversary of the Yonge Street van attack, as well as the Nova Scotia mass shooting. He then announced his government will be spending
put the mass shooter in with the van attacker.
National research strategy. The funding is going to be divided into 3 pillars: research on vaccines and treatments.
There is no vaccine for a mutating virus. Vaccines don't fucking work. They never have.
The Prime Minister also said the government will create a task force of public health experts that includes Dr. Theresa Tam, Canada's chief public health, and Dr. David Taylor, who is a conservative government on health and science issues. The task force will be asked to oversee countrywide blood test surveys to get a better handle on potential immunity.
Oh, bro, you fucking white people. What about my sickle cell and B19 and the HIV, whatever the guy threw in my face? What the fuck?
This is 680 News.
I can't get the healthcare you say you're giving me, but you can change the whole fucking system to give you yourselves this shit.
Delectable and free. Spend $10, get 10 tidbits free. Offer and qualifying purchases of $10 before taxes and participating restaurants for a limited time. Not valid for delivery or standard terms apply.
Is this the end of the conference?
To all our frontline heroes who keep us safe, we say,
you notice they keep changing the time of it and they give no fucking prelude, no fucking nothing.
The Ontario spirit with their courage, compassion,
hey, media, turn on all your cameras because in 30 seconds he's going to be talking. No, they start halfway through his first sentence.
We have what we need.
You think I'm the only one doing that? Eh? No, they're all doing that.
Make us proud. Paid for by the government of Ontario.
680 News Time, 11:56.
Now the 680
rabbi
News
and the pharmacist.
Here's Chris McCusker.
Well, Sarah, we've got Bay and
I think
Wall
it's a
Street
laser
moving
disc.
higher for a second straight day, and in the U.S. it comes after another jump in jobless claims. So more than 26 million Americans have lost their jobs over
you
the
know what it
last
is? It's 8
5
millimeter.
weeks. The
It's
Dow
8
right
millimeter
now
film.
is higher by 286, the S&P up by 30 points, and the NASDAQ higher by 87. Now, in the U.S., we keep hearing about reopening plans, and it is raising red flags for some healthcare officials.
What did you
But
close
Derek
it?
Holt,
You can
Vice
now
President
open.
and head of capital markets economics at Scotiabank, says If it's done properly, obviously it would be beneficial to the economic recovery, and it applies to Canada as well.
Yeah, I think the reopening has to occur in logical phases. I mean, you have to open the ones that are more naturally socially distanced from one another in terms of sectors and firms. And so probably the last parts of the economy to reopen will be the large mass gathering, concerts, sporting events. And somewhere in between will be activities like real estate open houses. In the early stages, you need to move.
You're still doing open houses to sell houses. You people are fucking retarded. I don't mean still the last few months. I mean still the last 30 fucking years.
Is relatively modest, and that you can have the right controls in place.
The TSX is higher by 34 points, 14,322. Time now for the Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update. Gold is higher by $14, $17.52. Now, it was up by $50 yesterday, so not surprising to see shares in Barrick Gold get close to an 8-year high. $40.13.
Lumberyard,
right now, still up by 48 cents to 38.03. Oil is higher for a second day, up $4.20. $17.99, and the Canadian dollar higher by 64 100, 71.26 cents US. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
Smart Local Union
285 reminds you that most job site accidents involve young, inexperienced workers during their first 6 months of employment. In fact, around the world, a worker is killed every 30 seconds. April 28th is the annual International Day of Mourning. Even though special gatherings across the country have been canceled, please take a moment to remember those injured or killed and commit to a safer workplace. A special message from the International Association of Sheet Metal, Air, Rail, and Transportation Workers, Local Union 285.
Sheet metal, air. Whoa, you guys cover everything,
The TTC has announced the temporary layoffs of about 1,200 employees. It's because of the pandemic. We'll bring you more on this story coming up at noon.
We need that to run. I don't care how fucking much money you got 2 Benzes in the garage. Your money depends on people getting around on that bus.
We will keep prices low and work hard to keep shelves stocked with everything you need.
In Oshawa,
it's not business as usual, but we're going to do the same things we always do. So what did you just tell me?
And 4 for Brampton. In Newmarket right now, just a few
Please don't come every day. Only come once a week. But don't buy a week's worth at a time. Buy a day's worth at a time once a week so we don't run out. Even though we'll never run out, I don't understand the cyclone bobble you're doing. This is like telling us, oh, if we pay extra, we can put stuff at the end of the shelves for sale. I pay you extra. You sell my shit or you don't.
Here are Steve Roberts.
I gotta pay you to sell my shit? What the fuck?
Good afternoon. This is
Thursday. So how do I make money off that? If I'm paying you to sell my shit. That doesn't make sense. G. Weston, the cartel family.
Ontario's request for military personnel in the fight against COVID-19 in long-term care facilities.
The TTC temporarily laying off hundreds of employees as ridership drops during this pandemic.
The federal government ramping up efforts to fight COVID-19 with the Prime Minister announcing $1.1 billion to develop and test a vaccine. It has been 2 years since the Yonge Street van attack.
The pain of that awful day continues to be felt by everyone who loves this city.
Because of the pandemic, an online vigil will be held.
An unusual draft day for NFL.
I thought that van attack taught you not to gather in public.
Freddy's Sports at 15.
We've got
Holy shit,
markets moving higher for a
3.62 out of
second
3
day,
ounces.
even after a jump in U.S. jobless claims.
That's 1.21
and
out of
oil
20.
is higher
Not
by more
bad.
than
28
$4. Business at 26.
Chicks don't wait for
City
football.
News Time, 12:01.
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Good afternoon, Carrie Prunskis.
Good afternoon, Steve and Sarah. This traffic report is brought to you by Pizza. Toronto bound on the QEW as you're heading up the Burlington Skyway. The 2 left lanes are closed. This is all for construction. So the 2 right lanes are getting through, but there's just a little bit of a slowdown here as you take that Burlington Skyway ramp from the Toronto bound QEW. So just be aware of that.
Oh, you can't see what I do. Turn it down
east
enough.
of Dixie and the Express. The left lane is closed. That's all for construction. Not spotting any delay though. Keep in mind, eastbound 401 ramp to Broad Street. That's closed for construction until 3:30 this afternoon. Westbound 401, you can't get to that route from Yorkdale. That ramp to the West 401 remains closed for road work. And the westbound 401 ramp to Huron, Ontario, that's partially blocked for construction. Crews are working in the Left lane. Westbound on the QAW, those turkeys have been removed from the ramp to Erin Mills, so all is clear in that area. Westbound QAW, just west of Winston Churchill, left lane closed for construction. And if you're traveling city streets, Adelaide is closed in both. Adelaide is closed. Sorry, it's just one way, but shut down from Jarvis to Frederick. And that's for fire investigation. As a result, George is also closed between Adelaide and Richmond. Pizza is delivering the new tamper-proof pizza box. Order any size pizza and receive it in a locked box that can only be opened by you. Safe, reliable delivery. That's Pizza.
It's been 12 hours.
The forecast. Here's Denise.
We got 15 hours to go to wait for callback.
The day, chance of some passing showers later tonight. Those showers could change to some flurries, maybe some freezing precipitation. Temperatures near the freezing mark for an overnight low. Your guaranteed high today is 3 degrees. Partly cloudy sky. It is 4 degrees in downtown Toronto. 680 News Time, 12:03.
A new single-day record for coronavirus cases in this province, as we get some confirmation now that the military has been approved by the federal government to provide help with COVID outbreaks.
Approved by the federal government, don't get to approve that.
Yeah, Sarah, that was announced just a short time ago that the federal government has indeed approved Ontario's request for
I'm United States. You're Canada. Pay attention, you fucking drama teacher.
Homes. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the measure is a short-term solution and that Canada should not need soldiers to take care of seniors. Premier Ford had said yesterday they were.
Oh, we've been doing it this way hundreds of years, but you're going to tell us to stop.
Long-term care homes that have been hard hit.
A warriors for the people.
54 deaths
a warriors for the people. Oh yeah, walk around with a gun, shoot at things, whatever. Then you got to dig a latrine, and you got to fucking carry some old man around and find food. Blah blah blah. It's not all about being a big tough guy. Anybody can shoot a gun. Look at the little kids playing Call of Duty. Look at the movie toys.
Yesterday,
the movie toys with LL Cool J and
emergency orders today, which is
set to expire. Robin Williams.
The order means the closure of parks and rec facilities and non-essential workplaces and restaurants will continue until at least
the little kids playing the video games is controlling the drones and they don't even know they're doing it. They're providing the feedback to the AI for the system to learn how to target.
Layoffs of about 1,200 employees.
Now you know why I don't play video games whatsoever.
An easy decision and came only after reviewing all other options.
Except for
the COVID-19 pandemic has already resulted in an 85% drop in ridership and a loss of nearly $90 million in monthly revenue. But service is being maintained at roughly 70 to 80% of regular levels to meet the current demand. Now, 1,000 unionized operators and 200 non-union staff are affected by these layoffs. The TTC says with the staffing reduction and savings on fuel and other daily operational costs, it will save up to $25 million a month.
Saving is not a thing. There's no such thing as saving.
News, it's 12:05. The federal government is making a major investment in the fight against COVID-19. More from our Parliament Hill reporter, Cormac McSweeney.
At his daily update, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announcing major new funding to help the medical and scientific communities in their efforts to stop the spread of this virus.
We're putting in place an additional $1.1 billion for a national medical and research strategy to address COVID-19.
What happened to the Canada First Defense Strategy, bro?
But until then, we need
CFDS, I mean, Canadians have a sedentary lifestyle, and therefore we can't enroll enough people to keep the military running. Remember that? Remember that? You don't know what I mean?
There's also
8 years ago, brethren, you're not paying attention. Oh, things will be great. 7 fat years followed by 17 years.
$662 million will be for clinical trials to test those vaccines and
Technicolor
as they are developed.
The Technicolor router.
About a hateful attack on an elderly Asian man in Vancouver and the recent comments about Dr. Theresa Tam, our Chief Public Health Officer, by a Conservative MP, Derek Sloan, in which he asked if she's working for Canada or China. Trudeau says intolerance and racism have no place in our country. Cormac McSweeney.
I gotta say something. They've been talking about all this anti-Asian racism. I've heard of one incident so far in the whole country. I have only heard of one incident so far in the whole country. I just don't know what they're talking about.
Gathering near the site of that attack. Our Mullen Qureshi with more now on what's planned and comments from the mayor.
It was just after 2:30 in the afternoon on a beautiful spring day exactly 2 years ago when a white van mounted the sidewalk on Yonge Street at Finch and began speeding.
So, Mr. Trudeau, are you going to outlaw you all?
of destruction.
Our city was
You're gonna outlaw dudes that don't have sex with women. Like, which one are you gonna outlaw?
Pandemic, Mayor Tory says an online vigil will be held tonight to pay tribute to the 10 who were killed and 16 who were wounded.
To remember and honor the lives of Renuka Himarasingh, Andrea Braden, Geraldine Brady, Anne-Marie D'Amico.
So all you idiots thinking you're gonna accidentally on purpose hit me at the corner, you're gonna gas brake, and I'm gonna step in front of your car. No, I can't stop a car with my hands, bro. I can stop you, but I can't stop a car, bro.
He's charged with 10 counts of first degree
You're trying to hit me with cars like it's funny, man. Not the gangbangers, the civilians. They think they're funny.
Has been delayed because of the pandemic.
Oh, just a nigger, I'll hit him. Nobody will do nothing. I'll get a $150 fine. It'll be okay. Yeah, you'll get shot and your whole family will get blown up. Kids do it. We kidnap the kids and raise them as ours, eh? Take one of ours, we take all of yours.
10:30. Black smoke and flames could be seen coming from the balcony at one point, but the fire is now out, and luckily no injuries have been reported. And George Street remains closed between Adelaide and Richmond.
Nearly 2 billion Muslims will begin the month of Ramadan tonight, but because of COVID-19, they will do it without the usual gatherings. Muslims typically go without.
Oh, I know where they're talking. I know. Okay, south of Queen. Right.
And Ramadan also features gatherings where families and friends can break their fast and pray together. Mayor John Tory, though, telling 680 News that physical distancing will have to continue.
I've had quite a few conversations with the Muslim leaders here in Toronto, and they have been for weeks now following the physical distancing rules. And
those Muslims know about fucking diseases and warfare and taking care of elders and shit.
The mosques have basically not been in operation, and my understanding is from them they'll continue to do that, as much as Ramadan is a very big event for families and for faith.
And Ramadan begins at sundown tonight.
Well, so many Canadians staying home and shopping online. Canada Post says it's processing packages at levels only experienced during the busy Christmas season. The Crown Corporation is advising customers to expect delays with deliveries because of physical distancing measures being practiced in their facilities.
Yeah, don't touch the Canada Post people there. I'll beat you up. Swear to God, we got that agreement down. You touch the Canada Post employees, my boys will fucking beat you and leave you where they find you.
While younger people are worried,
the government said that's fine with us.
The agency is calling its voluntary
We're not Canadian forces. They can't punish us up here. You're going to take me to the U.S. for a court-martial for beating up an attacker on a Canadian government? I don't think you're going to do that.
58% of people who responded over the age of 75 were very or extremely concerned about their own health, while younger people were far less likely to have the same worries. More than 48% of participants aged between 15 and 24 reported a major or moderate impact on their ability to meet their financial obligations and essential needs. Terry Pedro, the Canadian Press, Ottawa.
All right, let's take a look now at your city streets downtown. As we mentioned, Adelaide closed from Jarvis to Frederick.
Times. We're in this together. 680 News.
Downtown, Adelaide is closed from.
Oh, that is just like when I hit the play button twice and it stopped. That's what happened.
Police are reporting a crash on Keele, just south of Major Mac. And now 680 News gas.
Keele, I'm thinking right here, Major Mac. That's Rich Man's Hill, bro.
5 cents a liter last night is going up 5 cents a liter.
The Honda Civic SIRs, right?
A liter.
680 News Time, 12:10.
You don't see SIRs ever. Who the fuck has an SIR? Did they crash them all?
Now, every second is make or break.
The ugliest Civics.
Workers.
In my
Allowing
opinion.
unions to continue using car check during this crisis only adds to the chaos. They are putting skilled trades workers' health at risk to further their own cause. It's time to give skilled trades workers stability. It's time to pause car check during this crisis.
Yeah, we don't need documentation.
A message.
So let me get this straight. I now have to identify myself walking down the street, but you don't have to prove you're qualified to work? I'm confused, right? I'm just trying to buy the stuff you're making. You're making it, but you don't have to prove. Oh, I'm getting confused.
Order your key tags today at waramps.ca.
As a homeowner, you have built up equity value in your home. With Capital Direct, equity equals flexibility for homeowners.
The lower grade of weed and a big fat paper don't work as well as the good weed and the small one. The roaches don't have no THC in them, but the sticks do. So
If you've got something you would like to take care of,
all I got to do is
call
make sure I don't hurt the papers.
At 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL and see what's available for you.
We got 150 papers, only got 7 days to go.
City News Time 12:11.
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Gary Prunskis.
6.5 days.
This report is brought to you by your local Ontario Subaru dealers. We just got an update from Toronto Police on this closure downtown Adelaide. It's in the process of reopening now from Jarvis to Frederick. It had been closed for a fire investigation, but that investigation is wrapping up. So George Street also getting reopened between Adelaide and Richmond. Not spotting any delays in the area, and that's some good news.
Hey, you don't get to call it Freddie, bro.
We have a lot of construction. Toronto bound on the QEW as you're going up the Burlington Skyway. The 2 left lanes are closed. Still have 2 right lanes getting through, so there's not too much of a delay, just a brief slowdown. And then eastbound on the QEW east of Dixie, the left lane closed there for some road work. Crews are also working on the westbound side of the QEW, just west of Winston Churchill over towards the Ford plant. Left lane is closed through that stretch. Westbound 401, the Yorkdale ramp to the westbound 401.
You ever throw your buds in the coffee grinder? There's a little stick in there too.
Broad Street and Whitby remains closed for road work. That ramp is scheduled to reopen around 3:30 this afternoon. And a heads up, eastbound 407. There's no access to that route from northbound Appleby. That ramp is also shut down for road work. Ontario Subaru dealerships are standing by and ready to help with your essential automotive needs. Keep taking care of each other, and Subaru will take care of you. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Partly cloudy most of the day. Chance of some passing showers later tonight. Those showers could change to some flurries, maybe some freezing precipitation. Temperatures near the freezing mark for an overnight low. Your guaranteed high today is 3 degrees.
And happening right now, let's go live to our federal health officials with their latest update.
Our Minister of Health, Patty Hajdu, the Minister of Science, Innovation and Industry, Navdeep Bains, Canada's Chief Science Advisor, Dr. Mona Nemer, et le Président du Conseil du Trésor, Jean-Yves Duclos. Dr. Tam, please.
Bonjour à toutes et tous. Good afternoon. I'll start with the latest numbers on COVID-19 in Canada. There are now 40,190 confirmed cases, including 1,974 deaths. To date, labs across Canada have tested over 620,000 people, with over 6.5% of these testing positive. Although we are still facing considerable challenges, from the need to extinguish outbreaks and ramping up testing and tracing to root out and manage persistent chains of transmission in community settings, today is a great day to consider the
25 people in this neighborhood, if you think about it.
There are still a lot of unknowns.
That is about right. For the body trucks I've seen, that is about
correct. And science innovation is inspiring. From discovery and genetic sequencing of the virus in January to building our understanding of COVID-19 disease characteristics and spread through tried and true applied epidemiological and public health investigation, we've progressed in leaps and bounds. If we reflect back on prior pandemics, recent and more distant past, we can see some of the advantages of a more virtually connected, technology-powered society. But this, like everything else, is made better, faster, and more powerful when we work together towards a shared goal. We're seeing the power of solidarity in a connected world, with researchers collaborating across borders, data trackers scrubbing the web to share up-to-the-minute stats.
Scrubbing the web. She just made a Freudian slip.
Collaboration platforms sharing accelerated research findings on virus strain information and pre-publication
strain information. You mean it's mutating? It's a multiple strain? Wow.
Sharing of research and scientific advancement on our medical, social, and policy countermeasures. Well, one of the downsides of a highly connected world is the ever-present risk of emerging diseases that spread rapidly around the world.
That's not, no, it's not, you liar. That's the fucking result of 30 people, and it's always been that way.
And with brain power that is funded, supported, and trusted, we can reach a
smallpox
to respond to infectious disease threats now and into the future. Go science. Thank you.
Science says you're dirty people. Science says that you pretending that, oh, I didn't mean to know that, so it doesn't count. The virus don't care. It already spread.
Level today, she did confirm that there are 40,190 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Canada, including 1,974 deaths.
It's at now 1,978. Quarter.
20,000 tests have been conducted, of which 6.5% are coming back positive. Her notes today, basically commending the online sharing of research and information across the world, saying that it is helping.
Yeah, that was done by technology.
Will just never understand. Coming up in
worldwide travel has been happening
along with your
since before the continents split up, eh?
City News Time, 12:17.
The numbers are staggering. In Canada, on average, 2 employees are killed every day in work-related incidents. Many more are injured or become sick from hazardous substances.
Oh, yeah, by the way, what do we have? Jennifer McKee, 4 months, 3 months, 2,000 people.
It's International Day of Mourning, a day to remember those
500 to 700 people a month approximately have died from this shit.
Safer workplace. A message from the membership of UA Local
620. There's only 1 an hour. But since January 1st, 1 person an hour has fucking dropped dead up here.
You're stuck inside for it. Well, who knows?
Every time that alarm goes off, every time that beep.
TV, check. Snacks, yep. Couch, you better believe it. What about a
This is called Moroccan style.
A walrus whisperer at one of the biggest documentary film festivals in the world. No? Well, you're in luck. Watch Hot Docs at Home on CBC. Catch world premieres and new docs every week without ever leaving the couch. Hot Docs at Home on CBC. Tonight at 8.
I much prefer using a full flavor because then there's a little piece of yellow paper there. So I can see the end of it.
Nova Scotia's police watchdog says it's investigating why 2 RCMP officers started shooting at a fire hall while a killer disguised as a Mountie was on the loose. Officials with the Serious Incident Response Team, or CERT, say it's unclear why the officers opened fire because the suspect was believed to be elsewhere. The fire hall is about half an hour drive from the tiny village of Portapique, where
you're a firefighter. The real RCMP are shooting at you, and a fake RCMP. Do you hear what's going on?
Oslo Belmont Fire Brigade wrote on Facebook that the hall was being used as refuge for evacuees from around Portapique Beach Road when the building was pelted by bullets. That Facebook post has since been taken down. Infectious disease experts say the province is looking to relax restrictions related to COVID-19 to consider their neighbors.
Yeah,
at least 2 provinces, though, Prince Edward Island and Saskatchewan, have lower case numbers and are hoping to ease measures put in place to control the spread in the coming weeks. Now, Dr. Craig Janine, an infectious disease researcher at the University of Calgary, says easing restrictions in one province could present challenges for another.
Many provinces in Canada have really
it's a global pandemic? Really?
Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, we're not exactly islands where we get cut off, travel between provinces. We are going to have to make sure we're on the same page with this.
First Nation, I need this tattooed on my neck.
Restrictions has to have robust testing and contract tracing, so they can identify the new cases and prevent an outbreak. Well, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says they are promising and are looking at some promising indicators that suggest COVID-19 is no longer spreading at a high rate. But he says New Yorkers need to stay the course with social distancing.
You've got the worst fucking concentration in the world, but you're going to pass it off like good news.
Every time you use a hand sanitizer, even, you're depriving the disease of yet another avenue.
Now, rates of hospitalizations are down. Rates of patients in hospitals are also down from the peak earlier this month.
The cocksuckers called me
significantly lower.
At 11:31, it's 12:20. How long have I been sitting
here? $30 million to the World Health Organization to help fight the COVID-19
It's 49 minutes. We've been at 27. I had this. Do you see what I'm talking about? They call me all the time when they can't fucking. They're going to say, oh, well, we couldn't get a hold of you. 27 hours turned to 11. Thank you.
Into the cause of that outbreak. You're listening to 680 News.
You're fucking assholes. At least this time the woman identified herself as not a healthcare worker, meaning everything I tell her is not privileged or confidential. She can blabber about it unless her contract says she can't.
This
If
report
she does, she gets fired. I don't get
407
nothing out of it. I don't get my information
Getting
back.
around the
Nothing.
major routes, we have a lot of construction
Remember
on the
the fucking
go.
white
Eastbound
boy
on the
6 months ago?
401, east of
Same
Dixie
phone
and the
call.
Express, the left lane
Mouthing
is
off at
closed.
me on the phone.
And in the east end, eastbound 401, the ramp to Broad Street and
That's where these
Whitby,
white
that's
boys
shut down
answer
for some
phones and get
construction.
mouthy.
If you're planning
You try
on
to give
taking
them money at a
eastbound
store to get
407, the
mouthy, they
northbound
sneeze on you,
Appleby
they
ramp to
spit
the
on you, they
eastbound
fucking
407,
grab the
that's
money
closed
out
off
your
for some
hand.
road work.
What the
And westbound 401, no
White boy,
access to
you
that
can't
route
work
from
here.
Yorkdale. That
White
ramp is
boy, don't
closed.
work here no
Westbound
more.
401, the ramp to
You
Huron,
know.
Ontario, that's partially
The one
blocked
that
for
used to go,
construction workers
and
are
grab
working
my
in the
food
left lane.
to scan it.
Everything's moving well though
Yeah, he doesn't
across
work
the
here
major
anymore.
routes. Now, if you're traveling city streets, we just got the all clear.
Oh, every time I
on
walk
this
in and
closure
see him, I walk
downtown
out again.
Adelaide,
Yeah, I'm a
fully reopened
mystery
now from
shopper,
Jarvis
bitch. The
to
managers
Frederick
and
and
owners
George Street,
know me.
also good
If
to
I
go
won't do
between
business with
Adelaide
you,
and
they know
Richmond.
there's something wrong.
407 ETR,
With
thanks you
you.
for continuing to follow social distancing rules. Together
Oh,
we
I'm
can
hungry.
beat
I
the
got money in my
COVID-19
pocket. I'm gonna go
virus.
somewhere else, bro. I can't do business with you.
407etr.com. And now with a look at the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi. Partly cloudy for the first half of the day with the chance of some showers just passing through here in the GTA. Probably very scattered and isolated if we see anything at all. Again, this evening we may see some passing showers. We could get into a bit of freezing precipitation. Temperatures between about 0 and 2 degrees for overnight low across the region. Tomorrow and Saturday, an improvement in terms of the temperature trend, finally back to double digits near 12 degrees both days, and then rain for Sunday, highs near 8. Your guaranteed high today, 3 degrees. Well, right now in downtown Toronto, we're at 4 degrees. It's a partly cloudy sky at Pearson Airport. It is cloudy and 4.
Well, coming up at the bottom of the hour, a new single-day record for coronavirus cases in this province. But we are getting on confirmation now that the military has been approved by the federal government to provide some help with long-term care homes that are dealing
It's
with
1,600 hours, 20 minutes.
And some breaking news from
Say
the TTC, the
event.
Transit Authority, announcing the temporary layoffs of about 1,200 employees.
It's City News Time, 12:23.
For many of us, life as we know it has been put on pause. And while you've adapted your daily routine for the benefit of those around you, we've done the same. At Toyota, we understand that for some, mobility
All I
is a
see is
necessity.
4Runners, Land Cruisers,
That's why we're doing everything we can to
470s,
keep
LX
Canada moving
470s,
forward
whatever they're called.
while respecting social
LS.
distancing guidelines. To find out which priority services are available in your area, contact your local dealership.
When you need to know.
Breaking news.
It's a massive weather system we're watching, spanning from Texas to the Maritimes. Traffic. Just pull over Highway 400 and southbound
From
400.
Texas to the Maritimes, they're rich, Craig.
This moisture-laden Texas low has triggered widespread rainfall warnings across the GTA.
When you need to know.
We're here.
There's about 1.01 grams in that joint.
And this portion of 680 News
Theoretically means it's 350 milligrams
Most parts of the
THC. But we'll
U.S.
find
are
out.
planning to get back to business. There is a new poll that shows that 80% of Americans support strict stay-at-home orders. ABC's
Yeah,
even
they're
Pilgrim,
Americans.
though,
We're used to
says
shit like
efforts
that.
to protect people and limit the spread of COVID-19 are being complicated, though, by mixed messages from U.S. President Trump.
The president also trying to walk back the head of the CDC's warning about a second wave of the virus next fall, claiming it was fake news.
Totally misquoted. I spoke to him. He said it was ridiculous. He was talking about the flu and corona coming together at the same time.
Bringing Redfield to the podium to
So that was the same thing. That was what
And
he.
Trump insists that if the coronavirus does come back this fall, it won't be as bad as it is now. Well, coming up in 60
I'm not
seconds,
answering.
we've got
We don't
Chris
answer to
standing by
the head of
with the
state in
latest in
Canada,
business.
so I'm not answering to you, bro.
Cleaned out the
I'll
closet.
answer to you. So up here we got the Governor General. What do you got? You got
Your living
Lieutenant
room.
Generals, right?
Now it's time
Generals,
to get
5-star
outside
generals.
and tackle the
Got
garden.
normal
During
short
this
stuff.
time,
Hey,
it's
Storm
time
and
to get the
Norman.
resources you need. So lessmess.ca has made it easier and
I'll
safer
listen
to
to
get
Storm and
topsoil,
Norman
mulch,
and fucking
compost,
Churchill
and
before I
stone
listen to
delivered
you,
to your
Bridget,
home
because you're
with
too
the
fucking
Less Mess
stupid.
Enviro Bag. Not only do you get nutrient-rich soil in a sealed Less Mess Enviro
If I
Bag,
listen
but
to you, you're gonna end up
lessmess.ca
dead, and I'll be
offers quick,
responsible.
no-contact
No,
delivery
no,
to keep you feeling safe and
Or you,
secure.
you don't
Visit
end up dead,
lessmess.ca
and I don't get no
and
trouble.
into your garden.
Alexa, what station has the best breaking news, traffic, and weather?
680 News, obviously. Local
Obviously.
businesses make our city great.
That's why 680 News has partnered with Scotiabank in Operation Support Local.
Hi, it's Steve Roberts. By supporting local, you can help keep the places you love open.
Operation
From shopping
Support
online
Local.
to signing up for online classes or even ordering takeout, it all starts with you.
To submit or find a local business to support, visit 680news.com.
You ever order takeout from like a different city or something?
Support Local.
In partnership
partnership with our
I want pizza, but I want it from Saskatoon, bro. Like, what the fuck?
680 News Time, 1226.
Time now for the 680 News Business Report. Let's check into the Business Center to see how things are looking today. Chris McCusker.
Well, Steve, Canada's stellar credit rating, AAA, is being put to the test because of the price for oil. So going into the COVID-19 crisis, Canada's provincial governments had $853 billion in debt securities outstanding, and several provinces, including Alberta, rely heavily on energy revenues. Derek Holt is vice president and head of capital markets.
Yeah, you can say that, except they don't bring in money with it. So how the fuck is that? They've been receiving equality transfer payments for years now.
Good picture in terms
They were told in '99 you would have at most 20 years of income from this.
This is an economy that has a net debt to GDP level across all levels of government combined that is among the best across the G7, G8, G10, G20 countries. And so in that sense, I'm not sure that absolute ratings matters so much as being the least ugly in the world in terms of the relative ratings. And in this current market environment, there's such an enormous demand for government bonds that I'm really not sure that the steps like that will have a material impact upon market appetite for their debt.
Now, having said that, the price for oil higher for a second day. It's up about 50% over these two sessions. Right now up by about $4 or 28% to $17.73. The Canadian dollar's up by 0.6 cents, 71.22 cents US. And then the TSX is higher by 78 points. 14,366.
I want my TSX lower.
Some of the most actively traded stocks on Bay Street today in the energy sector. Cenovus up by 10.5%. Baytex Energy up by 15%, Meg Energy up by 7.2%. Bay Street also getting a lift from the gold stocks, with gold higher by $13, $17.51. Now keep in mind it was up by $50 yesterday. In the U.S., another jump in jobless claims, bringing the 5-week total now to more than 26 million. But the Dow is higher by 349 points. The S&P up by 32.
So gold is all certificates. There is no gold backing your gold. Platinum's the other way around. Silver too. But you don't want to tell us about platinum and silver.
1.5%. The TSX up by 0.5%. I'm Chris McCusker. Business continues at 26 and 56 or anytime at 680news.com.
So when the price of gold goes up, they say the stock of these gold mining companies also goes up, but that don't make sense.
What to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men in a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks.
What it's really based on is if they could supply enough gold for the certificates outstanding that they've already issued. They've already issued those certificates.
The choice is simple. We're 2 men in a
They
truck.
got paid for them at much less money. Now it's more. Now they got to give the gold. You see what I'm saying? It don't add up.
Local news, weather, and traffic as it happens.
680 News.
Gold ain't worth
Now's
nothing
your
to me.
chance to preview FX for free. With 17 Golden Globes and a whopping 75 Emmys, FX is home to the most innovative must-see programs. And this spring will be better than ever as Kate Blanchett leads an all-star cast in the highly anticipated new drama, Mrs. America. Watch this and other new series like Dave and Dabs today, only in FX. Available on Rogers, Bell 5, Cogeco, and Videotron.
Well, let's take a look at Denise Andriacci's forecast. We are expecting some light snow and rain showers could move in later on this afternoon. A guaranteed high of 3 degrees today. For tonight, we are looking at some increasing cloud and a low of 3. Overnight chances of showers and 0. Right now in downtown Toronto, we've got mostly cloudy conditions and 4 degrees. Michael Gibbons is the Midday Show editor. Joey Keeney is our digital editor. 680 News Time, 12:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Sarah Barrett and Steve Roberts. Good afternoon. It's Thursday, April 23rd.
And good afternoon. Here's what's making news this hour.
The union representing TTC workers is responding to the news that 1,200 employees will be temporarily laid off, and it's not pretty. The military will be helping in some Ontario long-term care homes, and the province is extending
extending
You're gonna
emergency
see
measures
me
until
driving the
May 6th,
goddamn
which
bus,
covers things
eh?
like the closure of restaurants.
Oh, you can get on the front
Federal
door.
government pumping an extra
I'm gonna drive with the
$1.1
doors
billion
open. Fuck
into
you.
scientific research and the development of a COVID-19 vaccine. This is the
By
Prime
the way,
Minister condemns
how come every
racism
fucking
and
TTC
intolerance
bus leaves
through
the
this
yard? They
pandemic.
shut every
Mitt
fucking
Romney
window.
calls
You
it
know we're gonna
acts of
open them.
pure evil.
It sent a wave of
Dumb
shock through the
motherfuckers.
entire city. Today
We
is
don't
the
want the
2-year
droplets to be
anniversary of the
circulating in the
Yonge
bus,
Street
so we
attack
close
that
the
killed 10
windows.
people,
You're a
wounding
genius.
16 others.
The Bengals hold the first pick in
Can you put all the
NFL
cleaners on
draft.
layoff
Joe
and keep the
Burrow
drivers? Because
expected
the
to go
cleaners
number
don't
one.
ever do their job
After
anyway.
that, it's anyone's guess. Sports at 45.
We've got very
At
modest
one point in time, the
gains, but
TTC
North
saved
American
money by just
markets higher
canceling the
for a
cleaning of all the
second
streetcars
straight
and subways,
day,
and they
and
pretended
oil
they didn't.
jumps by about $4.
Like the
Business
fucking
at
place, it
56.
was filthy. All the seats filled like grime on the seats.
12:31.
Time for traffic and weather together, all the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis. This report is brought to you by Lowe's. Volume is pretty light on the major routes, so not spotting any significant delays, but we do have a lot of construction that might affect your travels. Heading southbound on the 427, the express ramp to the QEW, that's partially blocked for construction. The right lane is closed. I just saw a truck knock over one of the pylons through there, so use extra caution no matter where you're traveling. You might encounter some construction along the way. Northbound on the 400 from Major Mackenzie to approaching King Road, the left lane is closed there for some road work. On the northbound 404 approaching 16th Avenue, the left lane is closed there. Westbound on the 401 west of Kiel in the collectors, the right lane is shut down for construction. And keep in mind the Yorkdale ramp to the westbound 401, that's also closed. Eastbound 401 in Whitby, the ramp to Brock Street is shut down for road work. And if you're planning to take the eastbound 407, you can't get to that route from northbound to Appleby. To help you stay safe and at home, Lowe's is offering free parcel shipping and curbside pickup with online purchases at lowes.ca. And now with the forecast, here's
So
Denise
how long can you
Andriachi.
guys keep offering free
Increasing clouds
this
today
and
as we
free?
move
You
through
didn't
the
want to have
afternoon,
nothing to do
still
with none of
sitting
it.
in a
Now
below
you're paying
seasonal
for it
trend
completely.
here in
Wow,
the
you guys are
GTA.
geniuses.
We could see some passing showers early this afternoon and again this evening and overnight. Showers,
Some of these
flurries,
white
and
boys
freezing
try to buy
precipitation.
things off me after
All
bid.
possible. If we
Idiots.
see anything at
No,
all, it
you're
should be
not-
very
nothing
brief
for your
and
burger.
light. Your guaranteed high today, 3 degrees.
It's over
I just want to look at it,
degrees
check it
downtown.
out.
Got those
Yeah, I
same
know. You
conditions
just
right now
want
in
to look at
Pearson.
it, check
680
it out,
News
and
Time,
walk away with it.
12:33.
You chased me down the street last
have
week.
breaking
I
news
pulled a
from the
knife out to stop you.
where
You chased me
CEO
anyway.
Rick Leary has announced the temporary layoff of about 1,200 employees. The agency says it has experienced an 85% drop in ridership because of the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in a
They get
loss of
80% of their
$90
money.
million in monthly revenue.
There's 80
Service
cents
has
on the
been
dollar from
maintained
that
at
box,
70
not from
to
the government.
80% of regular levels to meet current demand.
Now, in a written statement, ATU Local 113 head Carlos Santos
It's like
says,
tobacco,
"This
it's
is
not
the
really.
thank
This
you our
and
members
this,
get
very
for
different.
sacrificing themselves day in and day out, for putting their families and themselves at risk," unquote. Santos goes on to say that he will take the fight to City Hall, Parliament Hill, and Queen's Park to ensure the TTC gets the emergency funding it needs to maintain
You
service
need to
levels
keep the TTC
prevent
running
these types
just
of
like
layoffs.
the Canada
Stay with
Post.
680 News
You
for more
must
on this
keep
developing
it
story.
running.
Well, as Ontario reports
Must.
another one-day record in new coronavirus cases,
And I'm a good driver.
Ottawa
Check
is
my driver's
granting a
license.
request made
Oh,
by
why
the
don't I
Ford
have the
government
full
recently.
truck license and all that shit? Because you're administrative bullshit and drunken driving inspectors. Oh yeah, they couldn't get rid of these guys, so they closed the whole MTO. They pulled their fucking franchise. So they couldn't get rid of the drunks in the MTO.
Approving Ontario's request for
What I do, I just kept paying to do the road test again. What am I going to do?
Minister says this is a short-term
Why am I
solution.
still doing road
Soldiers
tests
are
20
also
years
being
later?
used
What
in
the fuck?
Quebec. 135 COVID-19 outbreaks have now been
You do the
reported in
G1, if you do
Ontario's
the
long-term
G2
care
test
homes.
2 fucking
This is an
times, you should
increase
just
of
get
10
past
from
the G.
yesterday's
This should, what the fuck?
Many of the province's deaths are people who
You
live
didn't hit
there.
anything? You didn't do anything
54 more
stupid? You
deaths
probably won't do
reported
nothing
today.
stupid on the highway either.
713. Ontario reporting 634 new cases.
Weighed
brings
out
the total
against how
number
many
of
traffic
province to
tickets the person has or something. I got none.
12,879. A 5.2%
None.
increase
You'll now
over
get pulled
yesterday,
over.
and one of the lowest percentage increases we've seen this month. Of the almost 13,000 cases, more than half of the people are now better. Meanwhile, the province today extending a number of pandemic emergency orders that had been set to expire. May 6th is the new date. The emergency measures cover things like park and recreation areas, bar and restaurants, as well as non-essential workplaces. Reporting live,
2 weeks from
Irene
Earth Day.
Franklin, 680 News.
Well, the Prime Minister has announced
announced a massive cash injection into research and development of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Fireworks disposal. Never put used fireworks in the recycling.
Public
Really?
Health Officer. Here's our Parliament Hill reporter, Cormac McSweeney.
The federal government is ramping up the efforts to battle this virus, and the Prime Minister pumping $1.1 billion into the medical and scientific fight.
This plan has 3 pillars: research on vaccines and other treatments, supports for clinical trials, and expanding national
Clinical
testing.
trials? Fuck you. We're not
The money
guinea
will also
pigs.
set up a new immunity task
You're
force
gonna have to do
track
those
the
trials
evolution
in
of the virus,
Pakistan
its
again,
impacts on patients, and to make sure Canadians are protected, with more than 1 million people being tested over the next 2 years. The Prime Minister also warning Canadians life will not return.
This will be
to
over in
normal
2
weeks,
weeks, but we're going to test for 2 years.
But he
Fuck
does say
you.
in the coming months they can begin to gradually reopen the economy, and conversations are underway with
The
the provinces.
economy not shut
Trudeau
down,
also
bro.
asked
Didn't you
about
not
a
see me
hateful
move
attack on
facts
an
all day?
elderly Asian man in
You see every
Vancouver,
time it's a
and
new
the recent
pack and a
comments
different
by
brand?
Conservative MP Derek Sloan, in which he asked if
See
Chief
them
Public
things?
Health Officer
Time
Dr.
Reds,
Theresa Tam
Canadian
works
Reds.
for
Never seen
Canada
those
or
before. They're
China.
marked with our numbers.
Intolerance and racism have no place in our country. Canada has succeeded because of our diversity.
Earlier, Conservative leader Andrew Scheer refused
Now,
to
that right
comment
there,
on
the
the
word
remarks.
diverse. They use
Cormac
diversity all the when they want to say
McSweeney,
something about niggers, they say
Today,
diversity.
12:37.
Diverse. It's a very
Today marks the
diverse
second
neighborhood.
anniversary
You want
of
to say
the
something about
Yonge Street
Indians
van
and
attack,
Asians? Oh,
and
yeah,
those
it's
wanting to mark the
diverse.
day are being told to
Look at how
avoid
violent the
gathering or
diversity
placing
is.
flowers at the site near where it happened. 680's Momin Qureshi joins us with more
It
from
didn't
Mayor
happen on
John
one
Tory,
site.
who delivered a statement
It's
today.
like a
It was a
kilometer and a
beautiful
half long.
spring
Fucking
day
Christ.
exactly 2 years ago, just after 2:30 p.m., with many outside enjoying the warm afternoon, when a white van sped along the Yonge Street sidewalk south between Finch and Shepherd in what Mayor Tory describes as an act of pure evil.
It sent a wave of shock through the entire city.
Under normal circumstances, there would be an outdoor vigil at Mel Lastman Square to honor the victims, but because of the pandemic, Tory says that will have to be done online.
It is a pain that is especially felt by the families of the 10 innocent people who lost their lives to this tragedy, and the 16 equally innocent people who were injured, some left with injuries that will last for the rest of their lives.
Alec Manassian confessing to police about planning and carrying out the attack. His trial for 10
The
counts
cop
of
that
first-degree
arrested him
murder
is
and
solid,
16
eh?
counts of attempted murder was to begin this month, but has been delayed.
And he's
because
not
of the
half white
pandemic.
from what I can
I'm Momin
tell.
Qureshi.
In the wake of the mass shooting in Nova Scotia, Conservative leader Andrew Scheer
I have a
says
gun in my
he would
pocket. I have a gun in my
support
pocket.
gun
The
laws
fucking
if
cop
they
didn't even
fall
tell me.
in line with what the Tories campaigned on during the last
Got it on
federal
tape,
election.
eh? Somebody
The
caught that
shooter
shit on
who killed
tape.
22
Red.
people on
The
the
man
weekend
tried to get
didn't
himself
have a
shot by the
permit to own a
cops so he
firearm.
wouldn't have to face
I will-
justice.
as I
I
said,
hope
this
he
is an
lives
individual
longer
that
than
did not
me.
have a license. Therefore, all his
This
firearms
is in
were
our
illegal. We need
facility.
to ensure that there are stronger enforcement provisions in our firearms laws. We need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep firearms out of the hands of dangerous individuals, and that has always been the focus of a conservative approach
So
to
you're going to take the guns away from all the other people because he might have one.
guns were
You're a
used in a
genius.
shooting rampage. Now, the Prime Minister has
They won't
said
tell us
that
what's
he'd
wrong.
be prepared, though, to introduce tougher gun laws if the opposition parties would agree
It wasn't
to
a
it.
handgun and it wasn't an assault
Ramadan begins
rifle.
this evening, and Muslims in the GTA will observe the holy month differently this year because of the pandemic. Mayor John Tory telling us he has spoken with many Muslim leaders in the city and says they are committed to practicing
If it
physical
was a handgun
distancing.
or an assault rifle, they would have told
to
somebody.
their own health, let alone the health of the rest of the
It was a
community. My
hunting rifle
understanding
like
is here,
everybody has
one
in
of the
every
texts
goddamn
that
house in
I've heard
Canada.
that people are going to be following with that, notwithstanding that causes a great dislocation at a very important time of the year.
During the month of Ramadan, Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset every day. Families and friends traditionally gather to break their fasts and pray together.
You're listening to Toronto's only all-news radio station. This is 680 News. The COVID-19 pandemic is keeping Canada Post very, very busy.
The Postal Service says it's experiencing Christmas-level parcel volumes as Canadians do more of their shopping online. Canada Post says it delivered more than 1.8 million parcels on Monday, similar to the biggest delivery days it sees during the holiday season. So the Crown Agency is now advising customers to expect delays because it takes longer to process the heavy incoming parcel volumes. Delivery times also being hampered by the physical distancing measures, but changes have now eliminated the need for signatures at the door, which has reduced the number of parcels sent to post offices for pickup. At the business center, I'm Chris McCusker. City streets right now, emergency crews on scene of a crash at pharmacy south of Lawrence at Surrey.
And northbound McCowan approaching the 401, the left lane and the right lane are closed for construction. Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price is going to go up 5 cents at midnight to 81.9 cents a liter.
680 News Time, 1240. In times like these, shouldn't your money work even harder for you? We think so. That's why at Duca Credit Union, you get no-fee checking accounts. You also get high interest on deposits and investments and low mortgage rates. Plus, you get to share in the profits. That's the Duca difference.
Basically.
Find out how to earn more on your savings with our great rates at Duca.com. Do more, be more, achieve more with Duca Credit Union. Conditions apply.
To all our frontline heroes who keep us safe, we say thank you. To all our essential workers who show the Ontario spirit.
Oh, that calmed me down a bit. I heard all this and I'm calmer than I was when I came in. Hey, that's pretty good.
You step up every day to ensure we have what we need to stay safe and healthy. You make us proud. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
680 News Time, 1241.
Why do I date time on my videos when they all have the fucking running?
This report is brought to you
I think I might cut that out. Same thing to put my name on. Why am I doing that?
401, just west of Simcoe in Oshawa. All lanes blocked for some police activity. I just spoke with the MTO. It sounds like they're just in the process of reopening these lanes. Not sure why they were temporarily closed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has to do with some geese on the roadway because that is the time of year right now. So westbound on the 401, it's jammed up from Ritson to west of Simcoe, but MTO tells me that traffic is now starting to filter through. Westbound 401 across the city, it's moving well. Just some construction west of Keele and the Collectors. The right lane is closed. They've wrapped up the construction on the westbound 401 ramp to Huron, Ontario. Eastbound 401, the ramp to Brock Street, that remains closed for construction. And getting around on city streets, there's a crash on Pharmacy south of Lawrence at Surrey. And it looks like delays are starting to build in both directions on Pharmacy south of Lawrence, so keep that in mind. Now at Pizza Pizza, get unlimited medium 2-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Yep, get as many as you want for $7.99 each. Minimum 2, maximum unlimited. Now at Pizza Pizza. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Varying amounts of sun and cloud early in the day, and then we'll see an increase in cloud cover later this afternoon. Now, we do have a chance of some passing showers this afternoon and again tonight, possibly wet flurries, maybe some freezing precipitation. Nothing too substantial. If we see anything at all, it should be light and brief. We have a system just skirting us here in the lower Great Lakes. Overnight lows near the freezing mark, but we rebound for Friday, sun and cloud near 12 degrees. The guaranteed high today is 3.
And right now downtown, we got overcast conditions and 3 degrees, and those same conditions at Pearson. 680 News Time, 1243.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute, live from the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker.
Sarah, we've got markets moving higher for a second straight day, with the TSX up by 86, 14,374. The Dow is higher by 335. The S&P up by 37, and the Nasdaq